It's that time again. It's week 3 of Kieran Powell's Team of the Week, following the third round of championship fixtures. So let's get stuck into it, Kai. Fire away, your opening batters.
Yes, thanks for joining our press conference. I think this week, as chairman, I took a different perspective on it, and I went and played in the tournament myself just to get a hands-on feel of the atmosphere, the temperature of what's happening on the ground.
Yes.
I think it was quite an interesting week of cricket. Obviously, lots of bad weather around, which affected quite a bit of the matches. I think this team sort of heavily features performers from that top of the table clash. We've gone in with...
We spoke about that,
Yep, we've gone in with both opening batters from the Windward Islands who scored centuries in Mikhail Louis at number 1 and Kadeem Henry at number 2.
Yeah.
I think they have now gone up to the second highest run opening partnership, eclipsing myself and Monson Hodge on 2 occasions.
Right.
So I think we're tied 3rd and 4th for the second highest opening partnership. Now I think they sit just behind, I think it's Sir Richie Richardson and Liam Livingston Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken, who had a 284 run opening partnership way back in 1984. So obviously 2 openers getting centuries, double century opening partnership.
Yeah.
That's
needed. It was needed.
It was needed, and it wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah.
So at number 3, I don't have my regular setup today. Unfortunately, I have my laptop in front of me in transit. So at number 3, I've gone for Jonathan Drakes.
Yeah.
I think he is quietly now having a very good season. He's gone back-to-back centuries in the second and third round. He's got a half century in the second innings of that win over Jamaica as well, not out. So he's someone that's trending in the right direction. I think his age, his experience is all coming to the fore now. Obviously, being able to put together scores consistently. Yeah, that's something that we said that we're looking for at the start of the season
from the outside.
And so it's good to see him continue that rich vein of form. At number 4, I think this is the ever-present, effervescent Jason Mohammed. 204 not out. He's only been dismissed once for the season. I think that apart from his average being very happy, he himself would be very happy with his performances in the first 3 rounds of matches. I think that he is, if anyone, well deserving of this 2-week break that's started today. I don't think that I need to say much more. Yeah, I don't think I need to say much more about him. He himself and the Trinidad and Tobago team will be looking for obviously a lot more coming from him, and with their next match being against the Academy, I think it'd be interesting to see if he can go 4 from 4. I remember during the Super 50 tournament, there was a lot of hurrah about Justin Greaves going 3 from 3, being the first time it's been done in the Caribbean. And I think that this is the first time someone's gone 3 from 3 in the Caribbean in terms of 4-day cricket as well. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how far Jason Mohammed can push these numbers with the vein of form that he's in at the moment.
Kai, sorry to interrupt. One thing I wanted to ask you, and with what happened last year with the whole Darren Bravo situation, I think to do what he's done is fantastic. But do you think that the West Indies, as a selection situation, leave themselves in a really tricky one how they go about if he is to go and make, a return to international cricket potentially?
Well, I think he's retired from international cricket.
Officially, is that official? Right, but, okay.
I don't see why they wouldn't ask him to come out of retirement if the stance has been that they're looking for the best performers, and it doesn't matter who they are, what age they are, as long as they perform. I think what has happened in the Darren Bravo situation is obviously that was a different administration, a different selection body. Yeah. And unfortunately, Darren Bravo, I guess, sort of stopped playing regional cricket with the level of disappointment he faced after performing so incredibly, which to each his own. I personally wanted him to continue playing because just for the level of experience that he brings to that Trinidad team and to regional cricket for young batters to be able to see someone like him and how he goes about his work is obviously beneficial for West Indies cricket, whether he's playing for the West Indies team or not. But hopefully something like this can sort of, I guess, reinvigorate him to come back into regional cricket because he, as far as I know, hasn't retired. So there's still scope for him to come back into the fray. And I hope that he definitely thinks about doing it, looking at what Jason Mohammed is doing at the moment.
Yeah, sorry to digress on that topic there. So you're number 5.
Number 5, I've gone for Amir Jangu. This week, we haven't been blessed with as many centuries as the other rounds in terms of out-and-out batters. But I think that in that game, Amir Jangu is the one that sort of set it up for Trinidad and Tobago. The way he started out, getting a quick 60 and just starting to apply that pressure to the Windward Islands, that lit a platform for Jason Mohammed and Joshua Da Silva to come in and sort of really push the Windward Islands into a position where there could only be one winner, but it wouldn't be Trinidad losing the game.
No. I think when Jimbo got him at 60, I thought, wow, this game. Like, I really thought the door, would be it was well and truly open. But let's go into our number 6.
Number 6, I've gone for a newcomer to the list, Mr. Kareem Agor. Has had 3 half centuries in the 3 games this season. I think he's got 4 in 5 or 6 first-class games. So he's quietly, I guess, building up a bit of confidence on the first-class front, and hopefully he can push on to register his first-class century sometime soon. But I think that based on the performances from this round of matches, he was deserving of being on number 6 position.
Yeah, definitely. And he gives you that potential extra bowling option as well.
100%.
Number 7 this week, probably the shoe-in of the team, really.
Yep, I think just like Jason Mohammed, Joshua Da Silva doesn't need to be selected. He's sort of selected himself this week, and this is what you were asked for, guys that went away from international cricket. Joshua Da Silva's been dropped from international cricket. And this is what you wanted to see, guys going back and making centuries, making big centuries. And so he went and not only made a century, he did the immortal at the regional level and scored 150 in the first innings and 104, I think, in the second innings. Not out. So that's exactly what we want to see from guys like Joshua Da Silva. I think that he needs to go on and make a few more centuries this season if he is to get back into the West Indies team, but he's put himself in a very good position at this point in time. Yeah,
definitely. And then we're onto our bowlers.
We've gone with Kari Pierre again. He's gotten another 5-wicket haul. I think it's interesting for a guy that hadn't taken a 5-wicket haul before the season, how he's managed to turn it around so significantly in this first 3 rounds of matches. I think also what is very important from my standpoint is that he provides a level of control for his captain as well. Obviously getting 5 wickets, it's a feat in itself, but he having to bowl on that Sinkitt's wicket that offered absolutely nothing to anyone but the batters, and getting 5 after bowling and toiling away for 50 odd overs. I think that's a great achievement, and at less than 2 runs an over as well.
Yeah, 1.7. I was going to say that's one thing I noticed big time. To bowl 50 odd overs at 1 point, economy rate of 1.7 is some going big time. So yeah, definitely.
We're at number 9. I think I've got Mr. Akeem Jordan, who got a 5-wicket haul in that match that I played. For the CCC. I think that, again, what I've noticed is that the bowlers seem to be struggling, and I think it was a good initiative by CWI to use the Kookaburra balls, because I think when you look at what's happened in these first 3 rounds of matches, I can't cast my mind back as far as I can remember and ever seen so many centuries be scored across the first 3 rounds of matches in the history of regional cricket. So it shows that the bowlers need to, I guess, upskill a bit more when things are not in their favor. I think when things shift back to the Duke's ball for the next 4 rounds of matches, you'll see the scores come back down. You'll see the fast bowlers come back into play because, it'll give them a bit more assistance. But when the ball's not doing much and the conditions aren't favourable, the bowlers don't seem to have, I guess, the necessary skill set to be able to extract as much as they would need to get wickets with the Kookaburra ball. So I think that's something good that the West Indies Cricket Board has implemented. I think that they can look to do that a bit more going forward as well to help the bowlers to continue to upskill. So Mr. Akim Jordan for clearing a 5-wicket haul, which is something we've been asking seamers to do this season as well. Very impressive, especially as I said, with things not in his favour.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing I'd add there is obviously I love to see that sort of bounce back. There's probably some disappointment there with him not featuring in the Barbados setup as well. So it's good to see somebody go and take control of his performances and answer critics with fifers and the like. So yeah, fair play to him.
100%. At number 10, we've gone for Mr. Jediah Blades, the left-arm seamer playing for the academy. Obviously made his ODI debut for the West Indies late last year. He got a 4-wicket haul against the defending champions, Guyana. Happy equals down in Guyana. And I mean, Guyana is a team that is known for their resilience. They may not have all the big name players of some of the other regional teams, but they find a way to win, and they're very consistent performers. So for the young Blades to be able to get a 4-wicket haul down in Guyana, which is not always necessarily the easiest place for seam bowlers to bowl, I think that would have been a big factor for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we mentioned it last week in terms of that influencing of the game to get that top 3 out early doors as well. And leave Guyana in that 37 for 3, I think it was, give or take. That's that big start, that you want from an opening bowler. So fair play to him.
Yep. And to round out the 11 for this week, we've gone with Brad Barnes from Jamaica, who got a 6 for. Bowled quite a bit of overs as well. In what was a keenly contested game in the first half anyway, until Jamaica sort of fell away in the second half, which has sort of been a thing known throughout regional cricket, that the Jamaica team doesn't necessarily bat well twice. So if you can keep the game close, then you're in with a shout. So I think that Mr. Barnes has been performing better and better as the rounds go on. He offers a bit, hasn't he? Yep, he offers a bit with the bat as well. So he's been duly rewarded. For me, obviously wanting a bit of variety with the left arm spinner, to have an off spinner from the other end as well. Yeah,
definitely. And have you got a 12th?
Yep, we've gone with a 12th man to round out. There were quite a few other options that I could have gone for. Obviously, Versamy Pramal got a 5-wicket haul. 6-wicket haul, and there were a few other guys that did well. Obviously, Daryl Cyrus in that match that I played getting a 5-wicket haul as well. But I think Yannick Correa, as I said, with Carey Peer, to be bowling on that pitch, which offered absolutely nothing, and be able to get a 5-wicket haul, having to toil away and being a top of the table clash. So I guess the intensity that would have been going on in that match for 4 days, and knowing that it's a first innings points match, and with the Leewards getting off to such a start and them being able to still win first innings points, I think that it was a very, very useful performance for him. And so he rounds out this week's 12-man squad.
No, good. And it's even better that we got your insights direct. All eyes on the Caribbean islands this week, which is brilliant to see. Great to see you back in action, which is fantastic. And some of the names, it was great to see a couple more. They've not made the list, but it's that consistency, like Cephas Cooper, another 50 or 60 this week. It's good to see this consistency that's coming together, and I think it will be interesting to see over the next couple of weeks. Sorry, when the restart after the break, when they change the ball that you mentioned, and how, if anything does, well, things will change, but whether the batters can keep that form going or the bowlers can keep that sort of form going as well. So it's been a really solid start, and I think that the Cricket West Indies as a group of selectors will be very probably happy after this, the 3 rounds of fixture, to see some certain players specifically performing, but also some new names as well chipping away.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to build up trends, and this is sort of why we wanted to do this exercise, because you can see over the weeks which players have offered you a bit of consistency, and then it sort of makes it easier to select, I guess, who should be next in line. For me as well, I think that from a batting standpoint, if you're really going to look at guys to be taken seriously in contention for the West Indies team, I would like to see those guys score runs against the Barbados, against the Leeward Islands, against the Trinidad, and against the Guyana, because I think that those are the four best balanced bowling attacks in the region. And so if you want to be going on to play for the West Indies, then you need to be able to stand head and shoulders above your peers against those teams, because those are the bowling attacks that are having experienced players and players that can challenge you over a long period of time.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why you mentioned at the top of the show then about your two openers. That's why I thought it was really, really important that, that partnership, because spending a lot of time in the field, so you see it so often, like a team get a 550 or 560 and then they end up being rolled for 180 because it just not necessarily because of the wicket and stuff, just from a mental side of things and fatigue. So when your two openers go out there and really sort of get that opening stand, it changes the game again, really. And I think that was right. It was really important. It was really good to see, and it was good to see Mikhail Lou get back some form as well, because I know he'd been a bit under pressure previous. So that was a positive sort of answer.
Yep, I'd like to see obviously him perform away from Warner Park. I think Sinkits is obviously a place that he loves batting, but it's obviously a very conducive place for batting as well, where the ball doesn't necessarily do much. I think his challenges have come outside when he's playing against the ball that's sort of moving outside the off stump, or when it's spinning. So that's not something that Warner Park necessarily offers or challenges his technique. So I think that's what the selectors will be looking for from him in particular, for him to be able to sort of retain his spot within the West Indies team. No doubt he's under immense pressure at the moment. So I think that this is sort of a good start for him, but he'll need to score quite heavily for the remainder of the season and probably score another 2 to 3 centuries to sort of retain his spot.
Yeah, definitely. No, well, thank you for the breakdown. Very insightful as always with that, and hopefully, with the break, we'll have another good look back over it. And it starts in 2 weeks. Is it start in early March again?
Yep, it starts on the 5th of March.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Powell, Chief Selector.
Cheers. Thank you for joining our press conference for week 3.
Speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.